So, you got the jump on an opponent, but your shots are going everywhere except for their head. The issue might actually be simpler than you think. Let's talk about preparing the swing. The idea is simple. As you're about to confront an angle, instead of immediately swinging out, you take a brief pause. During this pause, you position your crosshair right where you think your enemy is. Then, you make your move and shoot. See that tiny pause? That's your golden moment. It might feel like an eternity in the heat of a gunfight, but it's your chance to set up for success. Now, contrast that with this. No preparation, just swing and pray. Notice the curvy motion? It's reactive, and reactive plays often end up with you on the respawn screen. Many top tier players have this ingrained in their play. When they're sure a face-off is imminent, they prepare their swing, ensuring they have the upper hand from the get-go. This is one of the things we go into detail about in the Spider Method course on the SkillCapped site, where we break down how players like Shroud simplify the aiming process to make getting kills in Valorant stupid simple. There's actually a 6-step process that we break down on the site that'll walk you through exactly what you need to do to start fragging. All of this is backed by a rank up guarantee as well, so if you don't climb while actively using our service, you'll get your money back, no questions asked. We'll show you exactly how to cheat your mechanics, so you can skip the part where you look like this, and get to the part where you look like this. Check out SkillCapped using the link below. But now, let's get into the second reason that your aim is atrocious. You see that long corridor, that open space on Breeze, and your instinct is to engage from as far away as possible. Safe, right? Well, not exactly. Valorant has this thing called rifle inaccuracy. Close up, you might not notice it. Your bullets hit almost where you want them, but the further away your target is, the more RNG or random number generation is involved. Do you see the difference? At longer ranges, not only is your target tinier and trickier to hit, but the game's mechanics also add an element of unpredictability. And let's be real, on maps like Breeze, you might think it's all about those long shots, but it's not. It's a strategic game. You should be using your smokes, recons, drones, your entire utility belt to close that gap and ensure more consistent shots. And if you really have to take that long-range engagement, are you aiming down sights? If not, you should be. Beyond 30 meters, ADSing reduces the spread of your shots, making them more accurate. Yes, it does slow you down just a tad, but it will help you land your shot, and at this range, that's the most important part. Next time, remember, short and mid-range good, long range only with the right tools and mindset. Ever gone into a fight already expecting defeat? If so, you're likely familiar with the self-fulfilling prophecy. Look at our duelists. Jett, Reyna, Yoru, and, well, he's not a duelist really, but Chamber. Why do they often seem so fearless? It's because they have that escape button, that get out of jail free card, with abilities like Tailwind, Dismiss, and Gatecrash. But not all agents have that luxury. For Omen, a death means no more smokes. For Killjoy, her utility fades. There's weight to their deaths, and that can make them more tentative, more fearful. This fear isn't just mental, it manifests in gameplay, hesitation, overthinking, ultimately going into duels expecting the worst. But here's a secret. Confidence is as crucial as any technique that we've discussed. Even if you're not a duelist, remind yourself, if you've been training, if you've been practicing, you've earned the right to trust your shots. Ask any pro about stage nerves. More often than not, they shrug it off. They simply state they'll do what they've always practiced. There's no magic, just trust in the work that they've put in. So the next time you face off against an opponent, channel that very same energy. Remember your hours of practice, your training, your preparation. Believe in yourself, because if you don't, who will? Ever wonder why your bullets seem to have a mind of their own? Well, chances are you're not standing still. See, there are typically two reasons players run and gun. One is sneakier than you might think. The first, panic. You spot an enemy, anxiety kicks in, and before you know it, you're strafing left and right, hoping your bullets find their mark. The fix, our earlier point on preparing your swing. Decide your approach before the engagement. We practice this with coaches. Before entering a deathmatch, decide how you'll take each fight. Burst strafe, tap, crouch spray, decide before the fight, and those panicked run and gun moments diminish, because you already made the decision 2 seconds before you did it. And this is why our Spider Method course is so valuable. It simplifies the aiming process for you, so you don't even need to think about aiming anymore. You just kinda do it. The second reason is a little more technical. Poor counter strafing. You might think you've nailed the technique, but the firing error graph tells a different story. This tool can be a revelation during VOD reviews. Even a slight mistiming on your counter strafe can send your bullet on a trip far from its intended target. like all the way to Narnia. Now, don't get us wrong, you don't need to keep an eye on this graph during gameplay, but having it activated can be a goldmine during post-match analysis. Understand your strafe timing, make adjustments, and watch your shots land more consistently. So, the next time you're in the heat of a gunfight, plant those feet. Your accuracy and your KDA will thank you. Ever find yourself whiffing shots you know you should have landed? Well, there might be a simple reason for that. You're skipping your aim training early in your Valorant journey. Aim training is your best friend. It's like going to the gym for your aim muscles. Skipping it? Well, that's kinda like expecting abs without doing any sit-ups. Now, you might have heard your favorite pro shrug off aim training, but remember this, they've probably sunk a decade into FPS games, clocking in 8 to 10 hours a day on Valorant alone. Their world, it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, they've built up their muscle memory, but what about you? If you're relatively new, there's no shortcut. Aim training is crucial. We can teach you fancy tactics, sure, but if you can't land a shot, tactics won't save the day. Each week, we have countless students sharing their game trackers. A surprising number, under 100 hours in game. Just to put things in perspective, I'm sitting at 3,000 hours, and Immortal players will give me a run for my money. Aim consistency comes with consistent practice. Aim to train for at least 30 minutes a day. Pair that with 2 to 10 match plays, and you're setting yourself up for success. If you really want to up your game, this isn't a suggestion, it's essential. If you're serious about improving and want a routine to follow, check out this video. Believe us when we say it is a game changer. If there's one takeaway from this guide, let it be that. Start aim training. The age-old debate. What is the best sensitivity? The most common answer, it's just preference. But let's dive in a bit deeper. Meet Forsaken, boasting one of the highest EDPIs in Valorant at 569.6. If you're running anything higher, you might want to rethink. We've coached hundreds of students, and we've seen EDPIs soaring into the thousands, and it's baffling. Now, if you're looking to improve, we can't stress enough. Recalibrate, dial it down. Valorant demands precision. Lower sensitivities excel here. Why? They allow for easier micro adjustments. Muscle memory thrives on repetition, and larger, deliberate movements are simply more consistent and forgiving. With high sensitivities, a slight unintentional nudge can make your crosshair take a trip. But in Valorant, most engagements are right in front of you. You aren't spinning like a top. You aim, adjust slightly, and shoot. Now, entry fraggers might benefit from a slightly higher sensitivity, but even then, there's an upper limit, say 600 EDPI max, to ensure you're both swift and accurate. Running out of mouse space still? Innovate. In the old days, LAN players turned keyboards sideways, or opted for smaller ones, ensuring that their aim wasn't compromised. Remember, sensitivity might be subjective, but there's a fine line between preference and counterproductive. It's time to find your balance and stick within reasonable bounds. We've all been there, spotting an enemy and reflexively unloading bullets, hoping one will hit, but in this panic mode we often forget a fundamental rule. Aim before you shoot. Each subsequent shot becomes less accurate. Thus, the initial shot's precision, crucial. Don't let adrenaline dictate your actions. Slow down, process, take a breath, and aim. Encounters should not feel like a race against time. If you're positioning wisely and picking intelligent fights, you'll often find you have that split second more to aim. Enter the Miyagi method, an aim training approach where you track enemies in deathmatch, but you never fire. The objective? Build discipline and a deeper understanding of combat pacing. Now, we often hear frustrations about the notorious one-tap. And yeah, while they do happen, it's not as omnipresent as some believe. Even in top-tier games, mistakes and missed shots are plenty. It's a testament to the fact that you often have more time than you think. And the trick? Just don't rush. Understand the rhythm of the game. Remember the golden rule. See, stop, shoot. It is a simple mantra, but one that can elevate your game. Keep your cool, aim right, and soon enough, you'll see yourself rising through the ranks. Oh yeah, and here's a bonus tip. If you're looking for a surefire way to improve your aim, you may actually want to consider playing Reyna for a bit. Reyna is an agent that is entirely reliant on gunplay. With other agents, you can cheat your way to high ranks by taking fights on targets, getting scanned through smokes, or full blind targets from your flashes. But with Reyna, you don't really have any of that to work with. It's you and your gun versus them. And for this reason, your mechanics need to be super sharp if you play Reyna. Otherwise, you're just going to be completely useless in the match. And luckily for you, if you're looking to master this aimbot of an agent, we've recently published a Master in Minutes course designed to teach you everything you need to know about playing Reyna in as short amount of time as possible. We'll tell you all the secrets Reyna player use to cheat the game, maximize their agent value so you can skip the part where you're dying like a bot and get to the part where you're dropping 30 a match. As we mentioned earlier, our entire site is backed by a rank improvement guarantee. So if you don't start climbing while actively using our service, you'll get your money back, no questions asked. We do this because our service works, and if it doesn't work, you shouldn't have to pay for it. So what are you waiting for? Get started on your road to Immortal today. And that about wraps it up. Other than that, we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.